Please stand for the arrival of our official party. Attorney General Merrick Garland, Director Steve Dettelbach, Chief of Staff Daniel Board, and Assistant Director George Lauder. Please remain standing for the presentation of the colors, the national anthem, and the invocation.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
I invite you to a time of prayer. Almighty God, I humbly thank you with a grateful heart for the gifts of freedom and the tremendous blessings you have bestowed upon the United States of America. In every generation, you call forth faithful public servants who develop their God-given talents to prevent the innocent from suffering and to restore order in times of chaos. I ask your blessing today on Director Steve Dettelbach, his spouse Carol, and family as he begins this new season of leadership. In your mercy, give him faith and strength to lead with sound judgment, ever mindful of your divine presence and protection. Guard his going and coming, even today. Prepare the path before him. Under his leadership, protect all the members of the ATF team under your watchful eye as they vigilantly guard the people of this great nation. Lord, finally, continue to bless us with servants empowered and moved by values, faith, integrity, and sincere dedication to our nation. For this and for your amazing grace, I give you thanks. In your holy name I pray. Amen.
Thank you, Chaplain Foster. Please be seated. Welcome to the investiture of ATF's Senate-confirmed Director, the Honorable Steve Dettelbach. We have a full program today, and it is my pleasure to welcome our special guest. Representative Mike Thompson, Representative David Joyce, our former ATF directors, federal, state, local, and industry partners. Thank you for taking the time to share this important day with us today. And of course, we wouldn't be here without the support of our families. Joining us today is the director's wife, Carol Bielostowski, close family and friends. Thank you all for being here and for your strong support. It is now my honor to invite Attorney General Merrick Garland to the podium.
Thank you, Risha, and hello, everyone. Last month, we celebrated the 50th anniversary of ATF's founding as an independent agency. Today, I am thrilled to mark another historic day for ATF, the investiture of Steve Dettelbach as the agency's second ever Senate-confirmed director. First, I want to recognize and offer my enormous gratitude to the Director Dettelbach's family, including his wife Carol, who's here with us today, and his children, Allie and David, who I understand are here with us virtually somewhere. All of us in public service know that our careers are made possible by the support of our families who sacrifice so much that we may serve. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for your support for Steve. I also want to offer my gratitude and congratulations to Steve for coming back to the Justice Department. As a career prosecutor and the former United States Attorney for the Northern District of Ohio, Steve understands the importance of ATF's mission to protect our communities from violent crime and the scourge of gun violence. And critically, he understands that ATF's mission has never been more urgent than it is today. Time and again this year, we have been tragically reminded of the essential role that ATF plays in the fight to protect our communities from gun violence. In the aftermath of the horrific mass shooting at Highland Park on July 4th, it was ATF that traced a gun found at the scene, helping to identify and capture the suspect. In April, after 10 people were shot in a Brooklyn subway, it was ATF that traced the gun from the scene to the alleged gunman, this time through a series of years-old transactions. And earlier this year, after a string of shootings of homeless people in New York and Washington, D.C., ATF established that the same shooter was responsible for all of them. That evidence helped lead to the identification and arrest of the alleged shooter. These are just a few examples of the extraordinary work that ATF does every single day, most often outside the public's view. ATF agents, investigators, and professional staff are fundamental to the Justice Department's efforts to keep our communities safe. You investigate and disrupt illegal gun trafficking networks and help prevent guns from getting into the wrong hands. You work to ensure that our regulations keep pace with the ever-changing technology of firearms, and you conduct crucial research and analysis that helps solve and prevent crimes involving firearms, arson, and explosives. You watch and work in close partnership with law enforcement agencies across the country, providing your expertise to trace guns and ballistic evidence recovered at crime scenes. You help identify and hold accountable those responsible for the greatest gun violence. You sacrifice time with your families, you work nights, weekends, and many of you risk your lives. I am deeply grateful to all of you. I am also deeply grateful to U.S. Attorney Gary Restaino, who's now back in Arizona, but who led ATF with skill these last few months, even as he continued his job as the United States Attorney for Arizona. The Justice Department and the American people are fortunate for his continued leadership and service. Deputy Director Marvin Richardson could not be here today due to a long-standing family commitment. I know that I speak for all of us when I say that we are grateful to Marvin for his decades of service to ATF and for standing up to lead this agency when he was needed the most. I have worked directly with Marvin quite a bit this last year and a half. It is an honor, and it has been an honor to work with him. Through every tour of duty that I have had at the Justice Department, I have seen how important ATF's work. As I said, its mission has never been more urgent than it is now. As we begin this new chapter in ATF history, we will remain steadfast in our commitment to keep our communities and our country safe. Thank you, Director Dettelbach, for your continued service to the department and our country. I know you will lead this country and this agency, particularly its courageous and dedicated individuals with integrity and skill. Now I'd like to ask Director Dettelbach and his wife Carol to join me on stage for the passing of the ATF. Apparently the director doesn't know how to work his microphone. And for the oath of office. All right, if you raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Stephen Dettelbach,
I, Stephen Dettelbach,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same,
that I take this obligation freely
that I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion,
without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion,
and that I will well and faithfully discharge
and that I will well and faithfully discharge
the duties of the office
the duties of the office
upon which I am about to enter,
upon which I am about to enter.
so help me God.
So help me God.
You're in.
Thank you, Mr. Attorney General. Thank you.
The Attorney General, ATF Director, Chief of Staff, and Assistant Director of Field Operations will now conduct the ceremonial passing of the ATF flag. Ladies and gentlemen, ATF Director Stephen Dettelbach.
Thank you very much. Attorney General Garland, members of Congress and the judiciary, honored guests, family, and friends. Welcome. Thank you, Attorney General Garland, and I also want to say thanks to President Biden for your confidence in me, for fighting to protect the American people every day, and for fighting to provide ATF with a permanent director. I also want to say thank you to the former directors and acting directors, some of whom are here today. It's a great honor. To Director Todd Jones, to Gary Restaino, to Marvin Richardson, Regina Lombardo, Tom Brandon, Mike Sullivan, and others. You have done a tremendous job with respect to this agency, and I hope that I can live up to the examples that you have set. To those who are here who fight every day for victims and survivors of violent and firearms crime, thank you for what you do to make sure you lift up the voices of those who are vulnerable at the time that they need you most. And last, I want to say thanks to the men and women of ATF who are here today and our state and local and tribal law enforcement partners. They are the people who are out there every single day all across our nation in communities, protecting us, as the Attorney General said, risking it all. As we sit here in the Ariel Rios building, we should remember that these men and women fight. They fight to deliver for the American people. They fight to deliver justice. They fight to deliver safety for the people that we all protect. Being sworn in as the presidentially appointed and Senate-confirmed ATF director is the single greatest honor of my professional life. I am honored to lead this agency, which I have worked with and watched and admired for decades. I am honored to lead the wonderful people that make up the beating heart of ATF. I am proud to join you, and you have not just my promise and my vow to fight with you, but you have my heart, my soul, you have everything that I can give to try to join you in this effort. And what does it mean for me to say you have everything that I can give? What are the values that drive me? Well, I think when you hear about them, you'll find them very familiar at ATF. I have 3 families. I have my family, my actual family, some of whom are here. And they are my rock. They are my guidance, but they also, by the way, keep me grounded. While I assure you that in the Ariel Rios building I am called director, I have no such authority in my home. But all kidding aside, I cannot thank my incredible family enough, my wife Carol especially, for being supportive and a partner in my life, and my children, Allie and David. Thank you very, very much. The second family that makes me who I am is my Cleveland family. I am a Clevelander through and through. And I say that with pride as I stand in the Elliott Ness atrium. Attorney General Garland, our city's share, who we call Public Safety Director Ness, as a great fighter against crime. But what do you learn when you're in Cleveland as you grow up as a kid? 3 basic things that sound very familiar at ATF. First, for any of you who follow professional sports, you know you never give up. Clevelanders are fighters, right? And so is ATF. Cleveland's in the Midwest, so the other thing you learn is that you try to get along with people. You try to be the best partner that you possibly can and work together. Sound familiar? That's ATF. And the third thing you're taught when you grow up in Cleveland, Ohio, is that hard work matters. Cleveland is not the kind of town where people drive around with convertibles with the top down and a nice tan. And we're proud of it. Cleveland's the kind of town where you're taught that success has to be earned, not inherited, and that working your behind off every day means a lot. And that should sound familiar at ATF, too. And my third family, as Attorney General Garland talked about, has been my family for 30 years of my life, proud to be back at the United States Department of Justice. I'm a public servant at heart. And what it means to be here at the Department of Justice is that the rule of law is one of the things that drives me. Not that complicated. It means there's one set of rules that applies to every single person in this great nation. Nobody is above the law. People have to be held accountable. And no person in this great nation is below the protection of the law as well. And that's what ATF is also about. ATF delivers accountability to those who break the law and protection to the innocent who must be protected. That is the core mission of the ATF, working along with state and local law enforcement officers, protect the innocent and hold the guilty accountable. And by the way, that applies throughout the entire ranks of ATF. Here in Washington and of course in the field offices all over the country who are working every day on streets to protect people, risking it all. Agents, industry investigators, lab techs, analysts, staff, all of the staff of the ATF work towards those goals. And they work often, too often, in anonymity. Because when it comes to protecting the innocent and holding the guilty accountable, ATF delivers. What agency, as Attorney General Garland said, what agency ran the trace that helped catch the July 4th shooter in Highland Park before that person had a chance to hurt other people? Who did that? ATF delivered. In 1993, after the first World Trade Center bombing, when we were desperate to catch the terrorists who had attacked the heart of our biggest city, who dug through the rubble and came out with the key evidence that allowed us to do that? ATF delivered. In the 1990s, when African American churches across this nation experienced extremist violence from people who thought to burn down the churches and looked for protection to the best investigators, the best arson investigators and technicians in the entire world, who did they look to? ATF delivered. And every single day when our state and local law enforcement partners and federal partners need to find the best partner to support them and work with them and stand shoulder to shoulder with them, it's the ATF that delivers. And we must continue to do that. Because even though it is true that having the honor of leading the ATF is the greatest honor of my life, it is most certainly also the greatest professional challenge of my life. Because make no mistake, this agency and its missions are challenged as never before. We all know about it. Attorney General Garland told us about it. Rising crime, rising firearm violence, rising mass shooting incidents, and a rising tide of extremist violence that threatens people and safety in this nation. And it's going to take all of us in this nation, in law enforcement, working together to address those threats. And we have to be open to new ideas. We have to be open to new partnerships. We have to be open to a new and urgent sense of unity in our common mission. It's going to require all our energy, all our creativity, and all our dedication. And I am deeply proud that I will be here with the people here at ATF at this most crucial time. Because I know in my heart and with all my heart that ATF will summon all of its ability and strength, that we will do our part as we work together to face these challenges. Together, all of us, we and the ATF will deliver. Thank you. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for attending today's very special ceremony. Please take a moment to come forth and congratulate Director Dettelbach and Mrs. Bielostowski.